Hello, my name is Chrystopher Roscoe. I wanted to start off by saying that I apologize if you hear me cough or stumble for a minute. I do have bronchitis right now. That's also why I'm not showing my face on my presentation. I look like a mess right now, I'm sorry. But without further ado, this is my soil site survey presentation for soil science. My first AOI, or area of interest, is some roadside farmland that was located at a farm named Pfeiffer Orchards that I previously actually worked at for 3 to 4 years. The picture on the right, you can see there are some apple trees located next to an empty field where I couldn't distinct what kind of crop was growing, but there was some kind of crop perking up through the soil. The picture on the left is from a farmer's market that I set up and worked all day. As you can see, the soil found was sassafras sandy loam primarily. I could feel this from my ribboning test as the soil was very sandy feeling, and I was able to get about 3 centimeters of ribbon before the dirt fell into the sink. 3 bullets that I wanted to list is that this WSS does classify all areas as prime farmland, as this is a farm. I thought it was interesting that the restrictive feature was more than 80 inches, and showing that above that is prime farmland and very able to use for lots of crops. The landform is flat or with depressions, which means that it would be also ideal for farmland, all lining up with why this is a farm. 2 other maps that I have pictured is the aerial map on the left of the general area and the other map on the right. My next area of interest is located next to a golf course near me. It's called Jonathan's Landing, and I did not take any of the soil from the golf greens, but I did grab some from under the fence that you can see pictured behind me on the picture on the left. The picture on the right is a broader image of the golf course that it was located at. Primarily, this is called Ingleside Loamy Sand, which I found interesting because it was classified as prime farmland. This might have been farmland at a previous time, I'm pretty sure, but I was able to get about 2.5 centimeters of ribbon before it broke off into the sink, also feeling very sandy in my hand, very gritty feeling. Going along with the first area interest, the depth to restrictor feature is more than 80 inches, meaning that above that is very able to use for farmland, making sense. Located next to the golf course is a marsh, so the landform being terraces with depressions makes sense also. These are the area map and the other map found. My last area interest is Chris's backyard, really. This is my pond, even though it doesn't look like a pond. It's very dried up due to the drought. It doesn't have any water coming into it as it's just a runoff pond. I was able to find Fawsington loam, which was very sandy feeling, very gritty feeling, even more than the other 2. My ribbon test confirmed that it only branched off about 1 centimeter before falling into the sink. I live around farms, so the farmland classification, or the description of the land, was farmland classification, farmland, or statewide. I know for a fact that the previous owners of my house also used our land for farming and horse racing also, so all these things make sense. Here's the topographic and aerial map also listed. In summary, there are 3 important things that I identified that I learned from the soil site presentation and project. The first is a general awareness that the earth around us is very complex and it needs to be taken care of more than we are doing right now. Even when I was going out and going to these sites, there was trash along all the roads, even some in my backyard that had maybe blown from a neighbor's trash can, or I'm not really sure. But general appreciation for the world around us needs to be elevated. Farming needs to be encouraged and taught more to sustain life on Earth. Without farming, we don't have food, we don't have life. But so few and so little are learning the trade now. It's sad because it's almost dying in a way, and we need it. It's staying in the same families, passing from generation to generation, but it needs to go outside of that to continue, I believe. Along with that, the WSS can be used for more than farmers. If you're a gardener or someone who just wants to do some backyard renovations, the WSS can be very vital in learning and figuring out what kind of soil you have in your backyard and what it can be used for, and the density and layers of it. There's lots of helpful resources that I believe that all could benefit from the WSS. That's all I have for my soil project presentation. Thank you.